Welcome back to our channel Uncharted Realms. What if the next big earthquake was already known by a cat? For centuries, stories have whispered of animals sensing disasters before they strike, from tsunamis to volcanic eruptions. Could these incredible creatures hold the key to predicting our future, or is it just ancient folklore? Remember that time you just knew something bad was going to happen? Imagine if a dog could feel it too, only with 100% accuracy. We're diving into the astonishing real-world accounts and scientific theories behind animals seemingly predicting everything from storms to major world events. Prepare to be amazed and question everything you thought you knew. Before the Titanic sank, dogs on board were reportedly agitated. Before the 2004 tsunami, animals fled to higher ground. Are these coincidences, or do animals possess an extraordinary sixth sense that we're only just beginning to understand? Join us as we uncover the incredible evidence and explore whether our furry, scaled, and feathered friends can truly predict our future. Have you ever sat quietly, maybe with your cat purring contently on your lap, and wondered what's really going on inside that furry little head? We see them chase laser pointers and nap in sunbeams, but what if there's more? What if that same cat could feel something you can't? Imagine your cat suddenly bolts upright, its eyes wide, and dashes for cover. Minutes later, the ground begins to tremble and shake violently. Your cat didn't just get spooked, it knew long before you did. Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, doesn't it? But is it really that far-fetched? Across cultures, people observe the same thing, animals acting like early warning systems. We've watched birds suddenly take flight in unison from a silent forest. We've heard tales of snakes emerging from their winter hibernation just to flee, only for the earth to crack open a day later. These aren't just one-off stories. They are patterns observed across different cultures and throughout history, all pointing to one incredible possibility: that the animal kingdom has a built-in early warning system that we humans have lost or perhaps never had. Think about the incredible sensory world of animals. A dog's sense of smell is thousands of times more powerful than our own, capable of detecting diseases like cancer just from a person's breath. An eagle can spot a rabbit from over a mile away, a feat of vision that is almost unimaginable to us. Animals live in a world of heightened sensations: smells, sounds, vibrations. So when we ask if an animal can predict an earthquake, maybe we're not asking if they have magical powers. Maybe we're just asking if they're paying closer attention to the world than we are. Have you ever had that strange, unsettling feeling that something just isn't right? It's a sensation that's hard to put into words. Maybe you decide to take a different route home from work for no clear reason, only to later find out you avoided a major traffic accident. Or perhaps you get a sudden, inexplicable urge to call a loved one, and you discover they needed to hear from you at that very moment. We often dismiss these experiences as simple intuition or a gut feeling, a fleeting moment of unexplained insight. It's a deeply human experience, the sense that we are connected to events in ways we don't fully comprehend. Now let's take that familiar human intuition and amplify it 1,000 times. Imagine that instead of a vague feeling, you could physically feel the change in atmospheric pressure before a storm. Imagine if you could hear the low-frequency rumble of rocks grinding miles beneath the Earth's surface. This is the world that many animals may inhabit every single day. Their gut feeling isn't just a psychological hunch, it's a physiological response to tangible physical stimuli that our human senses are simply not equipped to detect. When we feel a sense of foreboding, we are tapping into a primal instinct. Some of the most compelling stories of animal premonition are tied to our greatest tragedies. Take the infamous sinking of the RMS Titanic in 1912. The ship was a marvel of modern engineering, hailed as unsinkable. Yet as it prepared for its maiden voyage, a strange pattern emerged. Numerous accounts tell of dogs that were slated to travel aboard the luxurious vessel, many of whom belonged to wealthy passengers. Reportedly, several of these dogs became incredibly agitated, refusing to board. One story tells of a man who was so troubled by his dog's panicked behavior that he decided at the last minute to cancel his trip. It was a decision that saved his life. Were these dogs just having a bad day? Or did they sense the doomed fate of the magnificent ship? Fast forward nearly a century, the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. On December 26th, a massive undersea earthquake triggered colossal waves that crashed into the coastlines of 14 countries, claiming over 230,000 lives. In the aftermath, wildlife officials in Sri Lanka's Yala National Park made a shocking discovery. They found virtually no dead animals. Elephants, leopards. Other creatures' eyewitness accounts confirmed that long before the wave hit, elephants were seen trumpeting and running for higher ground, pulling their young with them. This phenomenon wasn't limited to elephants or to Sri Lanka. Unraveling the mystery, Titanic's dogs, Tsunami's elephants. The skeptical mind immediately jumps to one word: coincidence. It's a comfortable, logical explanation. Animals behave strangely all the time. A dog might refuse to get in a car one day and happily jump in the next. A herd of buffalo might stampede because of a predator we didn't see. We tend to remember rare hits, confirmation bias. We forget hundreds of non-events. This is a valid scientific concern. To prove animals predict disasters, we must rule out sheer luck. How many animals didn't flee before the 2004 tsunami and perished? We often don't have that data. Focus is on survivors and their stories. Scientists say anecdotes data. Stories can be skewed by human error and our desire for patterns. It's easier to believe in a mystical sixth sense than in terrifying randomness. To understand how animals might predict disasters, we first have to appreciate the incredible sensory world they live in, a world that is wildly different from our own. Let's start with hearing. Humans have a fairly limited range of hearing, typically from about 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, but many animals operate far outside these boundaries. Elephants are masters of infrasound, communicating with each other using deep rumbling sounds below 20 Hz, sounds completely inaudible to us. These low-frequency sounds can travel for miles through the ground and air. It's entirely plausible that the elephants in 2004 didn't predict the tsunami, it coming. The massive undersea earthquake would have generated powerful infrasound waves, a deep planetary groan that would have been a clear and terrifying signal to any creature capable of hearing it. Then there's the sense of touch, or more accurately, vibration sensitivity. Think of a spider in its web. It knows the instant a tiny fly touches a single strand because the vibrations travel through the entire structure. Many animals have a similar, if not more sophisticated, ability to feel tremors in the ground. Cats. While superior senses like hearing vibration detection provide a strong explanation, some scientists are exploring an even more shocking and controversial theory. This idea suggests that animals might be sensitive to the massive electrical changes in the atmosphere before a major earthquake. The theory, known as the positive ion hypothesis, is complex, but the basic idea is fascinating. A few days or even weeks before a large earthquake, the immense stress on the rocks deep within the Earth's crust can generate huge electrical currents. These currents travel up to the surface and can release vast quantities of positively charged ions into the air. For humans, a surplus of positive ions in the atmosphere is often associated with vague feelings of unease, headaches, nausea. You might have heard people complain of a headache before a storm, which can be linked to similar ionic changes. But for animals, the effect could be much more dramatic and distressing. While infrasound vibrations, ionic changes provide powerful scientific explanations for much of the observed phenomena, there are still cases that seem to defy easy categorization. These are the stories that push the boundaries of our understanding and keep the mystery alive. Consider the many documented cases of pets. Dogs, cats who seem to know when their owner is about to have a seizure or a diabetic emergency. These animals often begin to whine paw at their owner or become visibly distressed minutes before the medical event occurs, giving the person time to get to a safe place or take medication. How do they do it? Some scientists believe this can be explained by subtle cues. A person on the verge of a seizure might emit a specific scent, undetectable to other humans but clear as day to a dog's powerful nose. We began this journey with a simple question: could your cat warn you about an earthquake? We've traveled from the ancient ruins of Greece to the tsunami-ravaged coasts of Asia to the deck of the Titanic and to the frontiers of modern science. This isn't magic or fantasy. The evidence suggests animals aren't predicting the future, they're exquisitely sensitive to the present. They're reading subtle precursors. Infrasonic rumbles, faint tremors, invisible clouds of charged ions. With clarity, we've lost. For decades, scientists tried to build a perfect earthquake prediction system with limited success. We've buried sensors deep in the earth, aimed satellites at the sky, yet major quakes still strike without warning. What if the answer isn't more machines, but listening to biological sensors that live alongside us? Research projects worldwide, like the Icarus Initiative, are using GPS trackers on animals, mapping their movements, looking for large-scale, unusual behavior that could warn of disaster. We're finally taking ancient wisdom seriously. Imagine a global network of animal sentinels,